Hello everybody, it's Pineapple here, back with another video, and I didn't think I'd ever be saying this phrase, but we have gotten good Genex support, and not only good Genex support, fantastic Genex support. So I thought it would be a good chance to talk about it because one of Konami's worst mistakes, I guess you could call it, that they've ever produced in design has been completely rectified to the extent that it is literally just prank kits now. It's synchro prank kits. That's what it is. And that horrifies me because I hate prank kits. I think that deck is super boring. But I think this deck might actually be interesting. So let's go over the new support. First up, we have Arms of Genex Return 0. It's a level 10 Dark Machine Synchro monster. It's got 3100 attack, 2950 defense. Materials are a Dark Tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters. And when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish one monster from your graveyard with the same attribute as that monster, but a different one than those banished to activate this effect of this card's name this turn. Negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So that's an up to 6 times per turn negation, which is, a little bit good. But if your opponent is playing a deck of all, monotypes, well, too bad. And its second effect is once per turn, you can target up to 6 of your Genex monsters with different attributes that are banished and or in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, and then you can destroy up to that many cards in the spell trap zone. So it could just, Harpy's Feather Duster your opponent. Why not? Really good card. Seems like a solid piece of interruption for Genex. And then we have Repair Genex Controller. This is a Link 1 monster. It's bananas. This is the card that literally just makes them prank kits. Its materials are a level 4 lower Genex monster. You can only special summon Repair Genex Controller once per turn, which is very important. And if it's Link Summon, you get to add a Genex monster from your graveyard to your hand. Like the material you just used to Link Summon. And once per chain, if a Genex monster is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can immediately after this effect resolves normal summon one Genex monster. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except by synchro summon using a Genex tuner as a material. So, it combos with itself because it's going to add back and it'll trigger itself because it doesn't say where it's added to your hand. So if you add back from the graveyard, you can then trigger it, normal summon. And if it's a monster that gets an effect on normal summon, you can add again, and we'll get into that in a minute here, because there are at least 4 Genex monsters that add on normal summon. Our Genex Crusher adds a level 4 Genex monster. Power Planter adds a level 3 Genex effect monster, and our Genex Magma adds a level 2, and Turbo adds a level 1. So essentially, you can normal summon them, get their effects, link away, add them back, normal again, get another add, normal again, normal again, normal again, and essentially projectile vomit out your entire deck of Genex monsters in order to enable huge synchro plays off of this one Link 1. It does everything. It kind of should remind you of pre-errata Firewall if that's triggering any PTSD. Don't worry, this is Genex, not Firewall Dragon. I really hope I'm correct in that, but I won't hold my tongue if he does end up being essentially a Firewall Dragon. We then have our Genex Undyne. Once per turn, you can banish a Genex monster from your graveyard. It gains that monster's attribute. Then if you banish a tuner to activate this effect, you can treat this card as a tuner until the end of this turn. And if you control a Genex Synchro monster, you can target 2 Genex monsters in your graveyard, including this card, add them to your hand, and banish any cards sent to your graveyard for the rest of the turn. So if you don't mind Macrocosmosing yourself, it seems pretty solid on the recursion. That's pretty neat. And then we have our Genex Turning. It's a level 2 Dark Spellcaster Tuner monster, and during your opponent's main phase, if you control a Genex monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, then immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon one Genex Synchro monster. So you can go into the brand new guy who's a huge bout of interruption on your opponent's turn, but I think that you will have enough material to make him on your turn, and I'm not sure, what else you're going to want to make here. But these cards seem actually really, really solid, which is really scary because Genex does have some good cards. Specifically, Birdman is a really weird card that interacts in really strange ways. But I'm really interested to see if they can take this unplayable, horrible archetype, make them into prank kits, and then proceed to ruin a format. I think that'd be hilarious. I don't think this deck's going to be tier 0 or anything, but I do think that it will definitely be playable and do some weird, jank, unfun stuff. But the fact that it locks you into Genex Synchros, I think is fine. Or at the very least, synchros in general. And there's no unfun synchro monsters. No, ignore Crimson Dragon, ignore Bish Balkan, ignore all that stuff. But I'm excited to see what happens with this. The ability to projectile vomit out your entire extra deck and deck should be at least somewhat interesting to see. So if you guys did enjoy this Genex support video, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.